Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.wordpress.com. Thank you for joining me today. So today it's Friday and this comes to an end of a week where I've been sharing how to make interesting backgrounds for your card making. I just wanted to give you a bit of a recap on those. So we started on Monday with some ink blending, colours and some sponge daubers to create these backgrounds. We used a triangle set and stamped these interesting backgrounds with those stamps using different shades of coordinating colours. That was that set. And then on Wednesday we used the Today's Tile stamp set and the Stamparatus to create this background too. Okay, so those are what we've been up to, and then today I want to use a background stamp to make my background and combine that with a watercolour technique. So that's what we're going to do. I've already got one prepared that's dry. We're going to put together in a bit, and I've just done a little bit of prep ahead of time by using my Stamparatus tool and the background stamp to stamp onto some watercolour paper, and I have heat embossed that so that will resist the watercolour as well. So I'll use a paintbrush and some water to do my watercolouring, and I'm going to use some stamp blocks, some acrylic blocks as my palette. I've picked out 3 colours that I hope are going to work together. I haven't actually tried it, but it's Highland Heather, Coastal Cabana and a Blushing Bride that we're going to use. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open each ink pad and I'm going to press my block into each one of those to create an ink palette. Okay, preferably without getting it on me at the same time. So that's Highland Heather, and Blushing Bride. Okay, so those are my inks, and I've just got some water off to the left hand side, which I'm going to use. Oh, what I need to do actually is I'm just going to use a spritz bottle and spray my cardstock just a bit, just to get it a little bit moist, so it will help my paint, my ink to disperse on the cardstock. So I'm going to start with the lightest colour. I'm going to start with the pink and I'm just going to slosh it on. This is quite a light colour, so we're going for just a really nice soft blended look, and I've got a cloth that I'm just going to wipe that brush off, and then we'll go with the next one, which in this case is Coastal Cabana. I'm going to go right up to the edges, let that mix a little. You want to be careful when you're choosing your colours to do this technique. You don't want to end up with colours that will run together and make brown, or, well, you might be going for brown, you know, but if that's not the look you're going for, you just want to just choose your colours carefully, so reds and greens will often come together and just make a brown colour. But obviously if you have yellow and blue together, you will get some transition where you will get some green, and you'll see some of that on my pre-prepared card. So I'm just adding a bit more here and there of each of the colours, trying to get them to move around a bit. Okay, bringing it all the way down to the bottom. A bit more purple. So that's what we're going for. The acrylic blocks just can be wiped off, they'll be good as new. If there is any residue, just wash them under the tap, they'll be absolutely fine. Now this one hasn't turned out as wet as my first sample, so I think I'm just going to add a bit more water to this just to sort of try and encourage some ink to move a little bit and run together. So you want a bit more of a organic look to it, and then I'm just going to block that off a little bit to try and speed up the drying process a little bit. I have done one ahead of time because this will take the time to dry. You can take your heat tool as well. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring my heat tool in just quickly, just to won't be completely dry, but it's just got it on its way, so it will take a little bit to dry. So if you've got a warm room, you can leave that to dry, but it's really softened out, and actually those two colours are quite close together, so maybe some Gorgeous Grape would have been a little bit better on that, but you know, it's still very pretty. Decide which way around to use it, but there we go. So that's the background I've done. So you literally, you know, get your paper wet, splosh it all on, and see what you get. Okay, so let's put that to one side, and this is the one that I've already done. So so my soft colour palette for that one that we just did was were these. But for this one I used much brighter colours, so this was Poppy Parade, Crushed Curry and Pacific Point. Okay, and so, and I used gold instead of silver on this, so you can see how we've got some more orangey tones in the middle where the red and the yellow have mixed, and then we have this green that's come through where the yellow has gone into the blue. Again, I dabbed it all off, and it started off looking really super bright and brilliant, but once it dries you get a whole different look. So even if you don't like the original result when you first do it, let's see what you think. So I've trimmed that down, and that's down to 5.5 by 3 3/4, and I've just got one of my regular card bases here that I'm going to adhere that to. Got my wonderful new Stampin' Seal, lovely adhesive, really liking it. So we'll just add that to the white card base. with an even border. Now in a couple of my other background projects, I've been just going with a nice bold sentiment stamped in black, so I've done the same. I've gone with the Ornate Thanks stamp set, and all I'm going to do is apply that to the bottom of my card. Could do it flat, but of course I don't like things that are flat, do I? So we are going to stick just a couple of dimensionals on the back there, because we can. I'm going to bring it down towards the bottom of the card. Use the I'm just using that image on the back to make sure that's pattern on the background. Okay, so really nice, simple, plain card, but you know, let's just add a bit of bling, shall we? Because we like bling. And I'm just going to use some rhinestones for that, so I think we'll use these slightly larger ones on that busy background. In a little triangle there, and that's all that needs. Really nice simple backgrounds. And so this is the other one. So what we could do is, well, let's see if we can get this to cut down. So I think what we'll do is we'll just trim dry enough to cut anyway, so just going to trim that down to the size for my card front. Yeah. Grab a white card base. Of course you could, oh actually, do you know what, there's a grey card base there, that would look nice. Let's do that, let's just mix it up. There we go, let's change our mind live. That'll look nice, won't it? Oh yeah, very nice. So I've got a few fuzzies there because the cardstock is still a little bit damp, so I'm just gonna nail block. It's going to look lovely on this grey card actually. I think that's going to look amazing. The new Stampin' Seal as well, it's obviously it goes on nice and smooth. We haven't got that clickety clackety noise which I used to find quite irritating, so that's really good. And it's stronger than the snail was, which is also great. and then the and you get more on each roll as well, so you get much better value for money with that. So because I've switched to a basic grey card base, I'm going to use basic grey for my sentiment as opposed to black. So I've just got some scrap card stock here that I'm just going to stamp this lovely thank you sentiment on, again just from Ornate Thanks. Really nice. It is a dark grey, but it is different enough for you to notice the difference. So just pop that down there. Just grab my trimmer again. I'm just going to bring that down here because I can't get a straight edge up there, so actually I can flip it around, that's what I can do. Just means I've got less to hold on to. So I'm just lining that up on there. And then trim off the ends. Fabulous trimmer this is. I really liked the original Stampin' Up trimmer. Didn't really think you could possibly improve it, but apparently you can. So, there we go, nice bold sentiment. So we'll do what we did before, we'll add some dimensionals to that. And position that a little lower on the card. As straight as we can. So I cut this panel a little wider than I did the other one, so that sentiment's just coming in, that looks lovely. And then we'll use champagne rhinestones instead, I think. So again, we'll go with the slightly larger ones, so they stand out. Ooh, got him. Jumpy gems today. One over there. Gorgeous. Isn't that nice on the grey? Brilliant. Really, really like that. Where did my other sample go? There it is. Okay, brilliant. So same technique, using the same materials in terms of the sentiment stamp set and the background stamp. We've just used some different colours to do the watercolour wash. And we ended up using a different colour card base. That wasn't intentional, it just happened to be there, and I thought, oh, that'll look good. So I hope you've enjoyed that. As always, there'll be a link to the corresponding blog post where all the supplies used will be listed with links to my shop. So if you fancy purchasing any of those items, those links will be there. Along with other information about joining Stampin' Up and my team. Lots of benefits to being a member. Really, really love being a Stampin' Up demonstrator. So there is information on there for you as well. Okay. Thanks a lot to everybody. I hope you have a great day and a lovely weekend. I might see you over the weekend. Yeah. Thanks again, everybody. Okay.